Hi guys, we are moving into our last unit for this trimester end year, so that's pretty exciting. I think that this one is pretty easy. I hope you did well on your test. So let's just jump in. This is called linear factorization, and what's happening here is I am going to give you the roots, the zeros, the x-intercepts, whatever you call them, and you're going to work backwards and write the equation. So, cubic. That means it's going to have an x to the power of 3 and should have 3 roots. So our first root is x equals 1, our second one is x equals 1, and our third one is x equals 5. Now what you need to do is you need to move them back with the x. So x minus 1, x minus 1, and x minus 5. I moved each of the numbers over with the particular x. And now what we have is the factors. Before we'd use these factors and we'd find the zeros or the roots. So now we're going to multiply them together. I use the array. You can use FOIL if you want. I'm going to start with these two, x and negative 1, x and negative 1. X times x is x squared, negative 1 times x is negative 1x, negative 1 times x, negative 1x, and this box right here is negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. Now we're going to combine like terms. So I have x squared, cross it out. I have minus 1x and a minus 1x, which means minus 2x. And I have a positive 1 for my constant. That was created again by multiplying these two together. What I will do now is I will multiply what I got by x minus 5. So I'm going to make an array again. On the top I'm going to put x squared minus 2x plus 1. And on the side I'm going to put x and negative 5. You could have put x minus 5 up here and all of this on the side. It doesn't matter at all. So now we need to multiply and see what goes in each spot. X times x squared, x to the third. X times negative 2x, negative 2x squared. 1 times x is 1x. Negative 5 times x squared is negative 5x squared. Negative 5 and negative 2 is 10x. And negative 5 and positive 1 is negative 5. So now we're going to start in the upper left-hand corner, and I have x to the third, cross it out. Negative 2x squared, negative 5x squared is negative 7x squared. Cross them out. I have a 1x and I have a 10x, that is 11x. And my constant is negative 5, so I will write that down as well. So this here is my final answer. It is a polynomial, degree 3, with roots x equals 1, x equals 1, and x equals 5. So let's just do another one here, just for some more practice. This is a quartic, so that means x to the power of 4. So I have x equals negative 3, x equals negative 1, x equals positive 1, and x equals 5. I need to move them back into factors. So that would be x plus 3, x plus 1, x minus 1, and x minus 5. I'm going to start with these two because they're first, no other reason. X plus 3 I'm going to put on top. And on the side I'm going to put x and positive 1. So x times x is x squared, 3 times x is 3x, 1 times x is x, and 1 times 3 is 3. Alright, what do we have? We have x squared, always start in the upper left. 1x, 3x is 4x. Cross them out, and I have a positive 3. So what I just created and got is a combination of these two together. So now I'm going to multiply by x minus 1. I'm going to make an array again. On top, I'm going to put x squared 4x and 3, and on the side I'm going to put x and negative 1. X times x squared is x to the third. 4x times x is 4x squared. 3 times x is 3x. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times positive 4 is negative 4x. And negative 1 times positive 3 is negative 3. So, starting in the upper left-hand corner, I have x to the third. Cross it out. 4x squared minus x squared, so that's positive 3x squared. Cross them out. 3x and negative 4x is negative x. Cross them out, and my constant is negative 3. Alright, so that was the add-on of x minus 1. And now I need to take that and multiply it times x minus 5. Again, I'm going to do the array. I just think it's easier to stay organized. X to the third, 3x squared, minus x, minus 3, and I have x and negative 5. Alright, x times x to the third is x to the fourth. X to the third times negative 5 is negative 5x to the third. X times 3x squared is 3x to the third. Negative x squared, negative 3x, negative 15, x squared, positive 5x, and negative 5 is positive 15. Starting in the upper left, I have x to the fourth. Cross it out. Negative 5, positive 3 is negative 2x to the third. Negative 15, negative 1, negative 16x squared. 5 and negative 3 is 2x, and my constant is 15. That is your final answer. Oops. And I believe there's only 4 of them for you to do for tonight. So, hope everyone's well. Reach out if you need us. Thanks.